Okay, so actually, I think we might start standing up today. For us in the Southern Hemisphere, we've got a bit of spring energy going. And we were talking before the recording, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, for anyone who's joining us later in the recording. And we were discussing the relationship. I'll just briefly recap for people, so this is a resource for later. We're discussing the relationship of the psoas and hip flexors to our adrenals. So anatomically, the psoas muscle comes up through the legs, attaches our legs to our spine, attaches on the spine, and at the top of where they attach sit our kidneys related to our adrenal system. So when we do hip opening and flexing, we get, it's called healthy mobility. So we energize and we mobilize the energy through that part of the body in balanced and well-regulated ways. So we nourish our adrenals when we are doing work on our hip flexors. So let's start to get present. We're going to focus on a bit of that practice today. And I'd like you to feel through your feet and just walk a little bit, however feels good to you. You might be up and down on the mat, might be side to side, small steps, big steps. Just letting yourself come into the space of your mat, your body, your feet. Good. Beautiful. And then coming to ground. So the change of seasons, change of time zones that's been going on lately, it's been quite disruptive and can unsettle us. We want to really focus on our grounding practice, softening the knees and feeling your weight and your energy press down through the feet into the floor. Let your sit bones sink down towards your heels. Soften your belly. And with everything soft in the lower half of your body, through the legs, through the belly, can you rise up a little bit strong through the spine? So your spine and your hips really sitting above the knees and the ankles and supported. Good. And then hands to the belly. We're going to soften again here. Tucking the chin. And if you're comfortable to close down the eyes or gaze at the floor in front of you with a very soft gaze. Letting the breath flow in and out of the body and beginning to settle your attention onto the breath. Good, release the hands. Breathe in, take the hands out and up. Keep the eyes closed here still and exhale, hands to heart. And then again, breath in, hands out and up. So we're beginning to slowly mobilize energy through the body with safety. Exhale and soften. One more, breath in, hands out and up. And exhale to the heart, gently blinking open the eyes. Breath in, hands out and up. And exhale to heart. One more. Breath in, big as you can this time, hands out to the side and up. And then exhale, soften the knees and let yourself roll forward to a forward fold. Keep knees soft and let the body really release from the hips, down through the spine, down through the neck, into the head, towards the floor. Good. Bend the knees, fingertips to the floor. Breath in, lift up through the heart. And then exhale, we're going to step down onto hands and knees. So place your knees hip width apart, hands under the shoulders. Taking a breath in to drop the belly, lift the head and tailbone. And a breath out to ground. Draw that lower belly in, draw the ribs in. Feel the stretch and opening. through the back, breath in, belly down, head, tailbone up. So just giving ourselves a general loosening and warm up here. Exhale, round. Again, breath in, belly down, head and tailbone up. And exhale, round. So again, I was listening to this teacher yesterday. I want you guys to stay here and wriggle around and explore for a minute, just finding organic movements in this pose while I talk. And she was describing how when we're consciously redoing nervous system patterns in the body, which may be related to some kind of fear experience, stress experience, or trauma, we need to cultivate a dual awareness, a capacity to be aware that we're safe and anchored in the present moment, as well as being able to be present with those sensations. And that we can cultivate this in our yoga practice by doing the work with our eyes open. And this is building that present moment. Keep moving. Present moment capacity and awareness, and a little bit light touch to those inner sensations. As we strengthen in this capacity, then we can begin to close the eyes and go a little deeper into those sensations with more safety. Breath in, come to neutral. And breath out, knees to the side. So we're building up the safety for our body here. Knees are mat width apart, toes are touching, and you exhale to bring the hips down onto the heels. And I'd like you to move really slowly here. So you're still a little bit upright, arms out in front. And walking the hands down very gently, very slowly, coming into child's pose, feeling through the hips and the lower back as you go. So doing your own inquiry. So here we are in a contracted position. The psoas drawing the knees up towards the spine. And we allow ourselves, eyes open for a little while here, to gently breathe through the hips. We're going to nurture and nourish hip flexors, kidneys, adrenals. Beautiful. Breathing in to come back up onto all fours. Exhale, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Try to set yourself steady here, checking the shoulders over the elbows, over the wrists, hips over the knees. And the spine very neutral, not sinking down, not rounding. Nice balanced posture in the middle. Breathing in. And as you breathe out, anchoring your hips in space here and walking the hands over to the right. So I'll go this way and you can see. We're going into again, a lifted and extended opening for the side body here. So also going to loosen up the areas around the hips. So up through the lower back and the mid back and down through the backs of the legs and hamstrings. Good. Breath in, come back to center. And breath out over to the other side. Try to notice if you're pulling that hip forward and really allow yourself to anchor it back. Good, and then breath in. Walk back to the center. Now exhale and come to sit onto your heels. Slide off to one side and bring your legs around for a cross-legged position. Gently easing in. I can't see you guys, hang on, because of the light. Just twist that a little bit that way. There we go. Can I see you? Yeah. Gently twisting in, leading from the core. So even with these active adductors again here, supporting all of this area, notice if you just squeeze the legs, you can actually feel it in the hips. You squeeze, like imagine you've got those pens behind the knees, and you squeeze, everything right up into the pelvis gets activated as well. And then we want to relax and release. Leading with the belly, take it to the right. Take the ribs to the right. Take the chest and the shoulders to the right. Right fingertips behind you and the left hand to the right knee. Meeting the posture, feeling into it, coming up to the edge, and allowing the breath to be the mechanism that takes you in a little deeper. So we just stay here for a moment. You can use your drishti, your eye gaze, to orient you in present moment, time and space. And then if you're comfortable to, closing down the eyes, breathing in to sit up really nice and tall, feel through the whole spine. And then exhale, deepen into the twist, taking that right shoulder back, and even take your chin all the way over that right shoulder, if it feels good to. Under closed lids, you can also take the gaze of your eyes right round to the right. Soften the hands, the wrists, the arms, the neck, let yourself slide back to center. Eyes still closed. If they're closed, or a soft downward gaze, breath in, hands out and uplift, all the way up from the sit bones, through the sides of the back and into the fingertips. Hold the spine a little bit lifted, exhale, hands down to heart, gently blink open the eyes. Leading from the core, belly to the left, ribs, chest, shoulder, left fingertips behind you, right hand to left knee. Soft here, just hanging out on the edge of the pose. You've arrived and you're getting to know the space of your body and the space of this pose. And getting comfortable with the movement of energy through the body, through the sensations. As we begin to move the spine and move different parts around, energy gets released through the body. Good. Breath in, sit up nice and tall. Breath out, close the eyes and deepen the twist. You can take your chin all the way over the left shoulder and maybe even through closed eyelids, gazing all the way around to the left. Soften back to center. Draw the knees up. Walk the feet out in front of you. Arrange yourself so that you come onto the sit bones a little bit more. Fingertips either side of the knees. Breath in. A little bit of extension up through the sit bones, through the sides of the back, into the spine, into the crown. And then softening forward, belly, ribs, chest. Forward fold. See if you can feel yourself energetically sitting back, like relax the legs in this one and feel the weight move down into your hips and pelvis. Feel the space that can come into your lower back if you're really anchored through the hips buttocks, pelvis. And just allowing your upper back and lower back, or your whole back really, to rest over your knees here. And think about softening that lower back. Lengthening the muscles. If it feels okay to you, you can close down the eyes and let your head come all the way down as well. And you'll get a long extension through the upper spine and neck. Good, breathe in, rise up. Feels good, breath out. Soles of the feet together. Coming into Baddha Konasana. We're going to activate a little bit around the joints to provide a bit of safety for the structure of the pose. So here we will imagine like you've got the pencils and you squeeze the backs of the knees and you feel this activation through the thighs, through the pelvis, through the legs. And we hold it this time, breath in. Hands to the ankles or the middle of the feet or the upper feet. And then we're going to exhale, press the knees down. You're still holding that squeeze. You're pressing them down towards the floor, opening up space in the pelvis to allow your torso to come through, forward and through. Again, keeping that gentle activation through the legs. Feel your weight, your body weight, really move down through the lower back into the pelvis. I really want you anchored on the floor. And the lift in the spine coming out of that, up and forward. And then letting the breath take you deeper. Following the invitation of the body. Good. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, bring the knees up towards the chest. Not the chest, just up to the center. Sort of towards the chest, I guess. And shuffling your buttocks forward to come all the way down onto your back now. Extending your right leg long. Take an inhale, anchor the hips steady in space here and bring your left knee up. Exhale to draw that left knee in. And we're really working here. So if you think about this pose, we're opening up a little bit here through this extended right leg, opening up the hip flexor. We've got that extended open position. And here we've got the contracted pulled in position and we're holding that balance. So thinking back to our discussion at the beginning, fight, flight, the contraction, we're safely being with this pose, with this position. And the release and opening. We're also giving a little bit of a massage to the digestive organs. See if you can stay nice and steady, strong and anchored through this base leg. Press out through your right heel. And again, finding a release and a sinking in through the breath. So you have some pressure in the hands, drawing this left knee towards you, but not distorting the alignment of the hips. I'm going to take a few more breaths. And then there's an invitation only if it doesn't feel good. Please just stay in this version. We're going to close our eyes, take a breath in, and going a little deeper. So as you exhale, putting a little more intentional force onto that left knee and drawing it towards the hip, experimenting with how this feels. Breathing into the front of that left hip. Breathing into the front of the right hip. Notice any other sensations that arise up in the body. Good. Relaxing without releasing, so just taking any extra pressure off. Take a breath in. I'm going to bring this knee across it into a supine twist, back into the lower back opening. As you exhale, right hand on the left knee, rolling it over towards your right side. Let your left shoulder peel up if it needs to let this left knee come down. Notice where you are in space. Notice this side left mid-back. And let that soften and encourage you to soften that left shoulder back down. And the left arm can be at a 45-degree angle behind you, can be straight out at 90 degrees from your shoulder. This will work into opening the pecs as well, if that feels good. Good. Inhale to draw the knee back up to the center. Exhale to release. So left foot goes onto the floor as we breathe in, right knee tucks up. And as we breathe out, holding the pelvis in place, drawing the right knee in and extending through the left leg and hip. Feel the shifts in the front of that left hip now as you go from a contracted pose to an open, extended, releasing version. Feel the contraction in the right side. Allow the breath to be your guide into depth in the pose. Natural, soft. And if it's feeling okay to go a little deeper, check in with yourself. Close the eyes, breathe in. Anchor through the hips and that extended left leg and draw the right knee with a little more pressure down towards your chest. Feeling to the front of that hip flexor. Good. And then releasing all the way down to the floor. Right knee's coming to the floor. I want to do an experiment with a pose to open up through the quads as well here. So you come onto the right side of your body. And you can tuck the right arm up underneath the head to give you a bit of cushioning if you like. Both knees are bent, got about a 45-degree angle. We're going to take the top one back and take hold of this foot. So sometimes we do this standing up. I want to try this one lying down. Taking hold of that top foot and taking the line of the thigh back so that it's in line with your body. Keep the top of your hips going back, so you've got the posterior tilt going here. What some people call it tucking the tailbone, but I don't like that cue. But we don't want to go into lordosis. And depending on where things are at for you, you can stay there, or if it's hurting the knee, you can just relax the leg down to rest on the other one. And if it's all okay, we want to start taking that top knee back behind us and opening up more. So you're doing a lunge but lying down here. Really all supported and safe through the rest of the body, and going a little bit deeper into that front hip flexor and psoas area. And down the quadricep. Good, and then relax. If you put any pressure in your knee, just ease it out a little bit. I'm going to come to the other side. So again, lining up the body, you can extend the left arm and rest the head. Oh, my keys in here. Head onto the upper arm. Bend up the knees. Bend your top leg behind you. We catch hold of the foot. And then bringing that knee down. So it's suspended off the floor. You're not like flopped down at this stage. If you can hold it up a little bit. And that's it. Yeah, really good, everyone. Nice. I know it can be a bit tricky to learn this one. Yeah, that's it. And then we're taking the knee, starting to move back behind us. And really getting this lengthening and opening through the front of the quadricep, through the hip flexor, even up into the belly. Notice if you go into lordosis, if the belly sticks forward and the lower back bends a lot. And draw your sit bones down towards the foot that's on the floor. Keep pressing back through the knee and keep drawing those sit bones down. So you're deepening the access to the quadriceps and the hip flexors. Go slowly and use your breath. This is a lying down version of a pose called Nataraj, which is the dancer's pose. Which we can maybe have a little play with at the end. If there's any strain, you can just relax it down a little bit. Good, and then release. And then coming to roll back onto your back. Soles of the feet on the floor. We just want to, as well as all of the opening and the loosening, we want strength and stability through the abdominal muscles, the deep abdominal muscles, the core muscles. And that helps also to build safety. We need strength and softness. Taking a breath in. And as you breathe out, pressing the lower back down into the floor, drawing your belly in and down. So we activate through the core. Tuck the chin, breathe in, low sit up, bringing the arms up to knee height. We're going to just stay here, exhale and hold. So if there's any strain in the neck, just check that you're really pressing down through the belly. The chin is tucked. and you're not pressing forward like that. Just holding nicely up. Good, release back down. And taking your left ankle over your right knee. So we're going progressively all around the hip. Front, sides and back. Breath in. Lifting up the right leg. Have everything flexed. Not everything, both feet flexed. Everything active. As you exhale, drawing that right knee towards the chest. And again, move very slowly with great awareness of yourself in the here and now, in time, and of the deeper sensations, the timeless sensations inside your body. Allow your breath to be the bridge between these two states of awareness. And so with a solid hold here, we're allowing ourselves to go deeper, drawing this right knee ever further towards the chest, feeling into this left glute, feeling into the left hip flexor. Breathing. Good, and release. So you're going to stay on this side for a little while. Unhook your left ankle. Extend your right leg back along the floor here. And I want your left thigh to be coming out 90 degrees from the left hip, and the knee also at 90 degrees, and the ankle also at 90 degrees if you can. You're going to place your hands, you can interlace the fingers, and you place them just below the level of the knee here on this thigh. Check that the hips are nice and level again. Make sure they're level, even. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to press down with your hands and pull your knee towards your chest. So you're resisting. You're drawing the knee up towards the chest and you resist with the hands and then release and let go. So this is a release for the psoas. Breath in. Breath out, hands onto the thighs. Exhale, press the hands away and draw the knee towards you. So we have this resistance. And release. Good. We're going to do it a total of 5 times. Breath in. And out. Drawing the knee up towards you, resisting with the hands. And release. Inhale. Exhale, press. And release. Breath in. Exhale, press. And release. Excellent. Taking this top leg and hooking your left ankle over your right ankle. So both legs are extended, left leg on top. And I want you to squeeze the feet together. So crossed over, squeezing them together. You'll feel this, draw your adductors in and roll your hips towards, roll your thighs towards the center line. So this is helping us with that internal rotation, the gentle version of the internal rotation. You're going to take your left hand above your head on the floor. Take the right fingertips around your left wrist. Breathe in and get as long as you can through the body. Inhale. And then you're going to make like a banana and you exhale. Lean the upper body, holding onto that right wrist. You lean your body over towards the right. So the gentle opening all the way down through this right, left side of the body into your IT band. Keep squeezing those feet to help you get longer through the legs. With the hips anchored, keep bending as far as feels good for you to start really feeling this opening through the side body. Play with the alignment yourself. Feel through what feels right. Where you feel release. Good. And then relax back to center. Unhook your left leg and just take a moment to feel the difference between what is going on energetically in your left hip and your right hip at this point. For me, there's a lot of movement and energy in this area right now. And just soften with the breath. Good, bending up both knees again. We'll swap it over. Hook the right ankle over the left. Breathing in. Lift up your left leg. Lower leg is parallel to the floor. Flex both feet. There's a little activation. And then exhale, draw that left knee towards the chest. Trying to keep everything else steady and just find that release and opening into the right glute. I don't know why, for me, I haven't looked into why this is, but I like to rest my hands on my diaphragm in this pose. Which you're free to do, or rest them down on the floor, or take hold of that leg. I think the reason for me is that hip work can be quite deep emotional work, as we were discussing, quite deep nervous system work. And I think this helps me stay connected to my breath when I have my hands on my diaphragm. Excellent. And then release. So as release for the right side, extend the left leg long. Straight down beneath you. Interlace the fingers, place them onto your right thigh here, just below the level of the knee. Everything's 90-degree angle, breath in. And then exhale, draw the knee towards you and resist with the hands. Relax, breath in. Breath out again. Make sure you're also pressing down through that left heel, keeping the pelvis anchored and stable. And release. Breath in. Breath out, resist. Knee towards chest, hands resisting. Release, 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. And 1 more. Inhale. And exhale, activate. And relax. And release. I'm having a mental blank. What did I do on the other side? Hang on, I did that, I did that. No, I've completely forgotten. Can anyone show me what we did on the other side? As the last pose.
Banana.
Ah, thank you. It's like total mental blank. That's right. Because we're getting the full, every side of the hip getting worked. So, right ankle over the left. And I really like to take my time coming into these poses, feeling this squeeze as you draw the feet towards each other, press them into each other. Feel how there's a little couch under the thigh that pulls the rotation of the thigh inward. Taking the arms above the head. Taking the left fingertips around that right arm, breathing in to get full length and extension through the body. And then exhale. And if you need to lift up a little bit to shuffle the body, please do so. Keep the squeeze in the feet and the legs and bending that upper body and finding your way in to that nice opening down through the side of the hip here. Excellent. Come back to the center. Bring your arms down by your sides. Unhook that left ankle. And both feet to the floor, close to your buttocks. Hands facing down. Breathing in, we're going to lift the pelvis up, come into a low bridge pose. And then exhale, really press it up nice and high. So again, keeping your mind aware of the posterior tilt of the pelvis. So although we're pressing up and forward with the whole pelvis, we still want to keep those sit bones moving down towards the heels and not overbending in the lower back. Keep going, see if you can go a little higher. Press down into your hands. Soften through the breath. Feel the activation, the strength through the back. Good, and then release down to the floor. A gentle release, taking the feet out wide to the edges of the mat. Breath in the center, and a breath out to slowly windscreen wiper the knees to one side. Coming back to center, breath in. Breath out to the other side. Nice. We're going to come back to the center, inhale. I'm going to the right first. As I exhale, windscreen wiper the legs in that direction. Then I'm going to hook my right ankle over my left thigh here. And we're still working this side edge of the thigh and hip, allowing the weight of my leg to draw this down and open. I just rest my hands down by the sides, palms facing down. If there's any pressure in the knee, just release that lower foot, making a wider angle in the knee. Good, breath in, bring it all up. Unhook, exhale. Make sure that that right leg is over towards the edge of the mat. Breath in. Exhale, windscreen wiper the knees to the left. Good, and then we're going to hook this left ankle over the right knee. And let the weight of that left leg draw the right knee down towards the floor, opening up the quadricep, opening up the side of the hip. Making any little adjustments you need to really get full release for your body. Good. Breath up to the center. Exhale, unhook. Hitch my hands back up again. Draw the soles of the feet together, Baddha Konasana, but Supta Baddha Konasana on the ground, supine. Soles of the feet touching, and again, just softening into this, letting the feet go where they feel comfortable, letting the knees just soften and release, letting the hips soften and release. And if you're comfortable too, closing down the eyes just for a few breaths. Gently draw the knees up as you breathe in. And then all the way to the chest as you breathe out. Bring the hands out to the sides, palms facing down, breath in. And then exhale, take the knees over towards your right elbow. Final twist in the practice. You can look out over the left fingertips if that feels good to you. And then inhale, knees up to the center. And exhale over to the inside. Option to look out over the right fingertips if it feels good to you. Excellent. Inhale to bring the knees to the center. Exhale to release your feet to the floor, making any adjustments you might wish to invite in for Shavasana, bolsters or cushions under the knees, jumpers, socks, all those kinds of accoutrements. And finding your way down into your version of Shavasana, perhaps legs fully extended, perhaps supported and bent. Play with what feels nourishing and nurturing in your body. Letting the hands come to the sides, palms facing up. So the position of the hands is very important in yoga. We call these mudras. And from a body experiential point of view, again, from my amazing teacher that I was listening to yesterday, it can be a beautiful way of staying present with what's in the body, but out of the depth. Sometimes what's going on in our core, in our organs, in our torso, can be quite strong, the sensations. And we can take our attention to the extremities of the body, staying with the body, but just skirting and playing with the outer edges. just for a moment, with your eyes open still, feeling into the palms of your hands for a moment. Wriggle the fingers. And then let your hands relax. Stay with the palms. And again, if it's comfortable to, closing down the eyes. If you just want to soften the gaze, do that. We're going to imagine the breath here entering the body through the palms. So breathing to the hands, up the arms and into the lungs. And out. And then gently attending to the body, softening through the face and the head, the throat and the neck, the shoulders, the arms, the chest and back, belly and lower back. Hips, notice any energy, mobilizing energy. Notice any softenings down through the legs, the knees, the ankles and feet. Beginning to track the breath in the belly. See if you can soften the pelvic floor. Even if you don't know how to, you just invite the inquiry. I'm softening my pelvic floor and just see what happens. Soften the jaw, the throat, the tongue, the eyes. For a few minutes, just following breath in the belly. Inviting in warmth and appreciation for our bodies. This vehicle through which we experience our lives. Allowing the breath to deepen. And your awareness once again to settle into the palms of the hands. Wriggling the fingers, moving the wrists. Awareness in the soles of the feet and wriggling the toes and moving the ankles. Gently draw one knee to the chest and then the other. Give yourself a final hug here, wrapping the arms around the knees, lifting up your upper body, tucking the head in and curling up as small as you can. Release the upper body down. Bring the knees over to one side. And press yourself up to a seated position. Bringing the hands into a mudra again. Anjali mudra. Position of intention, position of prayer. Tucking the chin, long through the spine and neck, lifted through the crown, grounded through the sit bones. Invite a full breath in through the nose, right down into the pelvic floor, belly, ribs, chest. And as you exhale, gently curl forward. We bow forward in appreciation of the wonderful gifts of yoga, all the teachers who have passed these traditions down to us, current teachers who expand this knowledge, ourselves for our own practice, and those who practice around us and support us. May your practice bear fruits today, and may you share them with all who surround you. Namaste. Feels good.